Welcome to Elevating Your Life, where each episode is dedicated to sharing valuable information, useful techniques, and empowering inspiration so that you can experience personal and physical abundance. Success and happiness are within your reach. I am your go-to gal who will help you find your happiness triggers and a true elevated life. I am your host, Paula Vail. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joy Seekers community. I love it. And welcome to another episode of Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail. I have a fantastic guest today, an amazing woman who's going to share some great insight and perspectives and wisdom with you. We have with us today Kellie J. Wright, Self-Love Transformation Guide, host, Conscious Speaks Radio, transformational speaker, author, blogger, and business owner at internaljourneys.com. She is on a passion-filled mission to help individuals discover their own truth through her actualized process called the 90-Day Transformation, which she is going to share information about. First off, welcome, Kellie J.
Hi. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Paula. I'm so honored to be on the show today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, and I'm honored, thrilled to have you. I would love you to share, if you'd like, a bit more about your background and kind of what brought this to your passion that you're fulfilling.
Sure.
At this moment.
Sure. I'd love to. My name's Kellie J, and I am the voice and author at Internal Narcissists and Internal Journeys, a spiritual transformation. And I am an author, a blogger. I am a 90-day transformation guide coach. I do transformational speaking. I'm about to go out on the circuit. I've been invited to speak at Unity Church in North Kitsap this July. If the contract is still there, at some point it will be. And so my whole life I've been a seeker, and I have been a follower of the way. I am spirit-led, and obviously found a great calling and passion in life, and that is the Self-Love Mastery course that I now teach. It's something that I led myself through and self-actualized on my own, and it became the course that I teach now. I also have a radio show.
I love it. I love it. Fellow radio girl. I love it.
Yeah, radio's good.
Well, tell us about that course. Tell us about what's involved and how that works.
You know, the Self-Love Mastery course is a jewel. It is it's designed as an 18-month journey, and it is a dedication to a relationship to change self. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It means that there's something more that you want, or that there's something that you can't change. It means that there is a longing to understand something that you can't quite breach that veil yet. And so self-love transformation are the tools that really unwind those blocks within us. And so the Self-Love Mastery course, I didn't know that I would be guiding it. I didn't know that I was going to do one. I'm my first and foremost student, but it became a journey when I left on a spiritual walkabout. And the backbeat of Internal Journeys, a spiritual transformation, is Internal Narcissists, a spiritual transformation. I was giving a directive through a dream from Spirit to create a website for internalnarcissists.com. And this was 6 months before I wrote the book, downloaded it, and it walked my mind out of darkness, dropping first veils. And really what it does is it helps you realize that you're the only constant in your life, that you are the center of everything that you create. It's not the other way around. And even when you know this, there are blocks to it. And I'd been seeking a way through them my whole life and found them at the age of 43. So I downloaded the blog that walked my mind out of darkness. There's 13 blogs, and literally each one leads into the next to process a transformation where we deconstruct fear. and we learn how to love ourselves for who we are, our dark and our light, and we honor ourselves for who we are. We start flipping those tools so we don't use negative self-talk, and we start to really liberate our heart. And so that's the beginning of the journey. It went forward, and I ended up doing a second and a third transformation. And they became what is now the supermental transformation. I didn't realize it, but I was guiding myself through a supermental transformation. And so I guide others now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And isn't it just so powerful how having that self-love for ourselves,
yeah,
and changing our thoughts from the negative to the positive, it's just so powerful.
Right. It's really a tool that we're not given early enough. It could, and I foresee that it will in the future. There's a lot of change going on now. But when we're little and we take on assumed ideas or inferences of ourselves through our psychosexual development, through our growing up years, through our caretakers, and through our communities, we might misunderstand or miscue our reaction, and then we encode those in our mind, and they become part of our energy frequency. And that is how we learn to love, is what I found out. And so our love song has some cues in it that are off balance, and we only attract that which we are. So what's happening in our relationships when they don't work, or when we're not being able to see things through to fruition, or if we can't process our pain or speak our truth, it's because somewhere along the line we denied ourselves the right to understand how to do that, because we didn't have the tools we have now. So as an adult, we can go back in and look at those with fresh eyes in real time and go, hey, I can see how I may have misunderstood that, and I might want to change that contract, that vocabulary that is really running the backdrop of my mind and creates my world from the inside out.
Yes, yes. And oh my gosh, yes, the vocabulary that we use in our own mind and in talking to ourselves, that totally creates what comes into our life.
Yeah, it's the draw. So when we ebb and flow, right? When we're thinking what we want, that's, we're pushing that out. We're giving our wants and desires to the universe. But what's ebbing and pulling back is the negative contracts, the fear, the pain that we haven't processed deep inside. And so that's why it gets confusing at times. And, people will have the best intentions, as we usually do. I myself, and fear is a mind killer. It's a stealer of moments. And it's the crucifier of dreams, as close as the same bed sometimes. And people love each other, but they can't break the internal fear that's holding them. And then we don't really have these beautiful, unconditioned relationships that we all could have if we took the time to really realize that it's not wrong, that we don't know how to do it. We were never taught.
Yes.
We just didn't know, so we can change it, though, and that's the cool part.
Yes, yes. And the fact that you can offer tools and insight to others to help them do that has to just be amazing for you, Kellie, with what you see and that ability to affect others.
Yeah, it's a gift. One, I don't take any gift lightly, because these things that are given can be taken away. So stay humble and stay open, and always working to hone my frequency. And I walk a master's path of enlightenment that I knew I've been on for my whole life. And so I'm constantly in dialogue, working every day to flip those frequencies on the highest level. I've become a mirror and a way shower, because I can see through words and hear through harmonies. So it's kind of sound healing effect where I can hear through things. And so if people allow me with non-judgment to show them who they're being in a way that they could go and look at that and sit with it to decide, that's the power, that's the tool, that's the gift. And they get to, everyone's their own master healer. Just sometimes we don't know how to see ourselves until we do. And it took me my whole life to get to do that. But I never gave up. I always knew there was a way through. And so turning everything I've done, I've lived and grown it out loud myself. So I've been there, I've done the work. And so I know how to show people how to do it if they want, if they want.
Yes, if they want. And personally, I have always believed that the power of trust is so huge in what we accomplish. You know, with my morning affirmations, I can speak the words, put that vibration out there, but I believe if I don't trust, it's like I'm putting a wall up. You know,
Right.
trust is so important, I believe, in what we're putting out there, because we're taking away the negatives and the doubt and the fear.
Yeah. We have to trust ourselves first and foremost. And it sounds like an easy thing to do. And once we understand how to, it can be with practice. It's getting that first door to flip. Fear really was put in place to protect us when we didn't know better. So it's really feeling like I've been doing a good job. Why do we want to change things? And so getting fear, the tool of fear, I believe, is a third party to pain and love. And so when fear uses us per se, I flip things 3 ways in my transformation work. It's called the triple flip of how we see and view ourselves. Being consciously conscious of consciously seeing ourselves is really kind of out there, but it's really when we are able to see ourselves being ourselves and then look at that, we get to go, oh, okay, well, fear, if it's a liar and I choose not to use it, then it's not real. Doesn't mean my pain's not real. Doesn't mean that I didn't suffer or something didn't hurt me, but I don't have to allow that fear to try and protect me with the mask, with the pain, with the barriers, with the negative self-talk. I didn't have to accept that I'm unworthy or that I won't have what I want. So reinforcing it. It's interesting if you look at Freud's work with the Oedipus complex, and if you look at the repetition theory, they really weave right into that energy sequence that really locks us. And no matter where you are, if you're a true seeker, you will come up against that part that's really the dark night of the soul, and the breaking open, and it doesn't it's painful for a reason. Everything you want's on the other side of it, and I think it's meant to be that way. I think life's meant to be interesting, fun. We're challenged, we're pushed, and those that are doing this work are really here on purpose to do it. So it's not going to be like you just go half-hearted into it. Like you said, with trust, you have to go in trusting that whatever happens on the other side of this is what's meant to be. It might not be what I chose, but it's what's meant to be. So when we can surrender to that trust, that's the opener.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yes. Well, how does self-love mastery work for me and affect, work with people around me? What difference does that make with us relationship-wise? How does it change our relationships and our effect of other people when we gain that self-love mastery?
Right. It's such an important question because everything does change, but it's not. It's a choice to you what does. Nobody has to go anywhere they don't want to. And the truth is, you won't take yourself anywhere you're not ready to go. That's why people shut doors, run, leave, ghost, whatever you call it. It's not because people want to do these things. I think it's because their pain is so evasive that it's just like we just run. I was a runner my whole life. So pre self-love, I'm thankful for the people who've loved me and put up with me in my life. Post self-love, I could see how I have to be patient with the relationships I've created. So to affirm the change, not everyone's going to believe your change right away. And maybe even you don't. We have to practice. And so it takes time to show people that, we've changed, that we've learned how to, be love versus fear. And that when we could be that presence, we could bring that goodness into all of our relationships. With familial relationships, which are really important in transformation work, as you know, which is something we work on in the second transformation, where we deconstruct those familial expectations and relationships. They all have to do with our growing up years, our family, our community. We have to go back in and really change those frequencies in our song, or we're keeping those old memory tapes playing, and we won't be able to be free and really be that loving, unconditional friend, mother, sister, daughter, person for ourselves first, because we can't be anything that we don't already have. And then we get to show that and give that to others. It's a game changer. And a lot of times in families, I work with women that are single mothers. I work with women that are married long-term. I always say if one person's doing the work, it's better than none. Because once we understand that someone else's pain is not about us, then we're free to love someone and just sit with them in their pain or be with them without trying to change them. We don't need others to change to suit our own fancy so we feel comfortable. It's the best way to be in a relationship, because you really learn how to love that true agape love.
Yes, yes. And just have, love and acceptance, and yeah,
my favorite part is that when you truly crown a supramental transformation, when you really become love, when you seek the soul to shine bright in the hues of your own intentions, being a spiritual, being having a human experience, when you do that work, then there's nothing anyone else can do or say to you that you would ever take personally, because you realize, oh yeah, that's not about me. And then you think, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you're hurting so much that all that's coming out, and you pray for the person, or you send love or energy to them, or you just give them space to work it out. And people are allowed to change. People are allowed to grow. When we give people room to be who they are, that's what real love is.
Yes, yes, that is so true. And we don't have to take on where they're at. We can just love them. In my book, Why Am I So Happy?, I share being bullied in junior high. And do you know what set me free? Was the day I said, love me or don't. I'm just going to be Paula.
Good, yay!
I have lived by that the rest of my life. I'm just going to be silly old Paula. And because what other people do is really, it's theirs. And we can just, accept them and love them as who they are. But
yes, I have a client.
Ourselves.
I have a client whose daughter was going through some bullying at school, and the mothers that I work with, I don't have children, but the mothers that I work with always, talk about how, it's really helpful for them with their daughters or their children to kind of start mirroring this work. Mm-hmm. And her daughter had went to school and someone was being cruel, and she said, well, it's okay. I know that you're hurting. This is not about me, And so it's one of those things that if we could really learn this at an early age, bullying will go away. Everyone's hurting, and that's why judgment is the cruelest part of fear.
Yes.
And so once we can learn not to judge ourselves, we won't, blast that on others unintentionally.
Yes.
It's
easy to judge yourselves. Why am I being treated like this? What did I do? It's so easy to go that direction, where the self-love mastery can bring us in the other direction and really free us.
Yeah. And what I hear there is two different points. With children, they have to be where they are, which is school. But as adults, we choose where we are. So we work on that in the 90-day transformation. Where we place ourselves is what we're choosing to create our world, whether we know it or not. And we have two placements that we sit in, inside our mind mentally or physically. And we could be in two different places. Some of us, others, can reach out even more places at the same time. So really, anything that is happening in our life is a result of placement, and we need to find our part in it. It's not that we deserve it, but and I could go into a million reasons why it happens. But again, we only are what we believe. So if someone wants to go in and learn how to look at that in this way, that's a gift. But if someone said no, then they would never believe it. What I've learned in the journey is we are what we believe. So let's figure out what we believe and be that the best we can. It's so simple. But the world's so busy that we don't have enough time to really think about the 10 commandments, be kind, the golden rules, which really, if we had those, then we wouldn't judge and everyone could be free. What a beautiful world, right?
Yes. And I really believe the most powerful tools we have available to us really are simple. Life is, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Joy can be simple. You know, loving ourselves. Yes.
And we can be joyous even when we haven't learned how to love ourselves. And so there's
Mhm.
always this mix. And so we have to find out, well, if I was always like, again, unnaturally happy. But why? Well, it was a fear mask. And because I didn't want anyone to ever know I was hurt as a child, that I carried forward. But then I deconstructed fear and I realized I'm still happy. So we break down the fear. It doesn't have to change who we are. I'll testify that transformation doesn't change us. It helps us be more fully who we are. It doesn't take us somewhere away from ourselves and leave us stranded, wishing we were back where we were. It liberates us in real time to go, I'm amazing as I am, and I can be this person. Like you said, I could be Paula all day, right? This is who I'm going to be. And so in self-love, it's really that resonance of going, it's okay to be me. And again, it sounds simple, but when you've got voices and memories coded in your mind, some of them that you can't hear or don't even know are there. I call it in our internal dictionary of self. We break that down in a second transformation. That's where it gets stuck. It's where we get stuck. It's where I got stuck. I mean, every 90 days, I mean, I could hold everything. 90 days, something was going to railroad me. And that's about the time, that we could hold the mask. So whatever that mask is, we go deconstruct the mask. It's not there. And now we just have days where we're working to retrain, remember, be love, be joy. And it doesn't always mean you're Susie Sunshine, right? Not everyone's going to be like Paula or Kelly,
Yep.
just like running around like little happy bombs. It's some people are completely shine bright happy as a maroon or an Eeyore. I talk about it a lot, like the characters from Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore is awesome as long as he thinks he's awesome. We all need an Eeyore. We all need a rabbit, a Pooh. We need everybody to be who they've come to be in self-love. But if we judge each other and say, you're wrong for being Winnie the Pooh, you're wrong for being Tigger, or I don't like you because you're Eeyore, or you're, Piglet, go away. It's just because we haven't learned that everyone's beautiful as they are, that we meet everybody as they are. And that's the fun part, as you know, about, being a happy person that's out there really fighting for self-love.
Kellie J, you are so fun. You are so fun. With just a few minutes left in the show, please share any information you want to give the audience, website or anything. And what last words, what thoughts do you want to leave us with today?
Sure. My name's Kellie J, and this is my book. It's Internal Journeys, A Spiritual Transformation. It's available on Amazon. I self-published. It has over 18 sparkling 5-star reviews from clients and people who've read the book. It's the book that walked my mind out of darkness. I kept it true to form. I didn't go in and rewrite it or try to make it different. It really are the words and the energy and the guide. It is a guide. It's a guide to walk your mind out of darkness. And it's what I now teach my self-love course from, the 90-day transformation. And, self-love is for everyone. It's really, I had to beat my coping mechanisms. I had to beat fear. I had to beat my struggle with beauty, money, wanting, needing, anything that you could, relationships. I was awful. I could never keep a relationship. So you look at who you are and you look, what are the things that I'm struggling with? Those are the things that we'll work on in a 90-day transformation. And that's why everyone's is so different. So one of the things I ask every student that comes to work with me, I only work with 12 clients at a time. And it's important that you want to do it. So it's all about you. So you have to ask yourself, if I could transform or change one thing in my life, what would it be? What would it be, right? And when we get really quiet and we think about that, it's not the car, it's not the new job. It's not the new watch or, to go on a vacation. It's usually love. Everyone wants to be loved. Yeah, it's just love. That's what a 90-day transformation will do.
Love. It's just love. Oh, I love it. I'm going to call this the Love Show. We are love sharers today.
Yes,
Kellie J. Oh, I'm just so excited. This has been so great. And just a beautiful message. I am so honored to have you in our little Joy Seekers community.
Hey,
I
thank
really
you.
am.
I'm so glad you found me. It's spirit-led. I truly believe in spirit-led
Yes.
connections.
Yes, I really believe we meet who we're meant to meet. It's just beautiful. It's like, okay, who am I going to be connected with?
Yeah, right. That's the same thing for me. I always know I just have spirit's my calling card. People are like, it's my business card. And whenever I try to control, it doesn't go as well.
Yes, yes, I love it. Oh, everyone out there, thank you so much. Love, hugs, and blessings. Kellie J, love, hugs, and blessings.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.